Today, I'm going to ask you a very simple question. Is a GPS on your bike still relevant? This is my phone. Everybody has a phone these days. Everybody has a cell phone. Typically, almost everybody typically has a smartphone. Unless you have one of those, what are they called? The jitterbug that has the big old buttons and stuff on it. That's what I use for taking video around the camp. I use it for my still shots. They are so useful. You literally have a tiny computer that you can access internet. You can be on Facebook while you're on the toilet. Don't lie, you do it too. You can download all kinds of apps to your smartphone to make your moto trip easier, your moto planning for a trip easier. Some of them come already installed on the phone. Apple Maps, I don't use Apple Maps. I can't stand Apple Maps. Google Maps, very good resource. The Dirt, Onyx Off-Road, Gaia, Avenza, all kinds of great apps that you can use. And with all the phone case options nowadays, you can just put it straight onto your bars. Everybody's putting their phones straight onto the bars on the bike. Why would you need a GPS? Well, let's look at those cases for a little bit. Quadlock is one of the leading manufacturers of cases. You can get a case that has a charging option that you can charge your phone while it's in the mount on the bars. It has a anti-vibration dampener that you can add to it. Those things cost extra. When you add everything up, you're looking, you're going to be upwards of like $150, $200 unless you have a sponsorship with Quadlock like so many people do. Now, even with those vibration dampeners, particularly with the new iPhones, the vibrations on the bike are still going to come through and ruin the image stabilization on your phone. Your pictures and your video are gonna get all squiggly looking. I've seen it happen. It's happened to Wes. His phone is ruined. Because he was putting his on a vibration dampened mount on his bike. Even when he's just riding on the road, it'll do it. With all the functionality of the modern smartphone, tiny computer in your pocket, it has completely killed off the need to have a Garmin GPS or a TomTom or whatever on your bike, or has it? This is my Garmin ZUMO XT. I have it hardwired into the bike, so when it fits onto the adapter, and I turn the key on, it powers on. It's switched power. I went through an accessory outlet. See that video up here in this link. On the back, it has weatherproof seals all around the back. This is where it gets its power from, is those 5 gold dots. It's got a power button. It has an SD card slot right there, which I do currently have an SD card in there. That is how I get my BDR GPX files onto the Garmin without using its built-in storage. And then it has its charging port right there, and for some reason they use an old USB plug-in style that you would have found on a printer from 15 years ago. And to get this thing onto the bike, it's really just as simple. It hooks on from the bottom, and then you push in the top, and it sort of clicks in. This GPS is very responsive. You use your fingers, you can drag it around, you can do all kinds of stuff. You pinch to zoom out, and it seems like it's a little bit slow, but compared to GPS units from days gone by, it is light years faster. You can also pinch to zoom in, do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, and it just, it just works well. Now, here's the other thing. Works with gloves on. These gloves are nothing special. They are not a special glove that is billed as having touchscreen compatibility built into the fingertips or anything. These are just my cheap winter gloves. I think they're made by Built, I think, just one of the Cycle Gear cheapy house brands, and the GPS still works. Amazing. Try doing that with your cell phone. Now, on the main screen of the ZUMO, you can either view the map right there, or you can go to your where to. You can either explore, you can go home, you can type in an address, you can look for categories, iOverlander, ultimate public campgrounds, motorcycle specific locations. You can look up History Channel locations, national parks, intersections, fuel prices, coordinates, whatever. It's pretty cool. One of the other things that you can do with the Garmin that is extremely useful while you're out on the bike, you go to the apps section. You scroll way down, right here you see something called Weather Radar. And what the Weather Radar is good for is while you're out on the bike, you click into that, and it's going to tell you if you're currently in the rain. It's going to tell you about where the rain's going to stop, so you know when you're going to get out of the rain. Alternatively, if you're out on the bike and you just want to try and stay dry, you can stay away from the rain. In my case, that's impossible. Pacific Northwest, you just live with the rain. So far, so good. But the reason why you get on your motorcycle is because you want to get out and explore and have fun, right? So one thing that the Garmin GPS is very good at is, say I want to go back to Alsea Falls, you hit this orange button. So I would take, instead of 2 hours and 3 minutes, I zoom this slider up to take all the twisty back roads and everything, and instead of taking just over 2 hours to get there, I can take nearly 3 hours to get there and avoid all the big nasty roads along the way. Very, very cool. I also was using my Garmin extensively while on the Washington BDR. I had the route preloaded in there and I was able to just follow right along with the route. And while I was on the route, because of the generosity of the BDR organization, who provides all of the BDR GPX tracks files for free, also included with those tracks are the points of interest, so you can see them coming up as you're riding, so you don't miss things along the way. And the screen on the Garmin is large enough to where you can kind of glance at it really quickly. You don't really have to pay attention to it intently. You can get all your information at a glance. There's another screen on the Garmin that you can bring up all your ride telemetry, and you can review that at the end of the day when you hit stop if you are indeed tracking yourself. Has the cell phone killed the need to have a GPS on your bike? Personally, for me, I say no. If I were ever to lose my Garmin, or if it were to break, would I replace it? Yes, I would replace it. Mainly because I don't want to keep my very expensive phone hanging on the bars. I want to keep it in my pocket, in my jacket. That way, God forbid, if I ever have an accident and become separated from the bike, the phone is still with me. Thanks for watching today. If you found value or even entertaining, or if you just like to watch a train wreck, hit that like button. I very much appreciate it. If you would like to help support the channel, I do have a Patreon page and a merch store. You can check for those links in the description. If you cannot monetarily support me right now, I completely understand. I am just very happy and excited that you're here with me every single week, sharing in the content that I create for you. I have a lot of fun creating this content for you guys, and I hope that you have a lot of fun watching the content. This has been an Explore Adventure Moto production.